Welcome to Podtendo, a Nintendo podcast, where they analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games.
I don't feel so good now.
Conker's had a bad night. Well, actually, he's had a very good night. But when Conker wakes up, he has no idea where he is.
Oh, can you help me?
And he's sporting what could be the world's worst hangover. Conker wakes to a world of abusive and hazardous characters.
Look at him! Very good!
Using resourcefulness and cunning, he goes full steam ahead into a series of difficult and dangerous situations. See how a really nice guy handles a really bad day in Conker's Bad Fur Day for your N64.
Hey guys, welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we analyze, reminisce, replay the glory of old Nintendo games. We contacted on Twitter. No, don't go to Twitter. Never. Just stay away. Podtendo@gmail.com. It's a good way of contacting us. Commenting on our YouTube videos. So you go to YouTube, you type in Podtendo podcast. You'd probably want to type in episode Conker's Bad Fur Day. You'll go to our page and you'll probably find under playlist. And you'll say podcasts, and that's where you'll find this episode, and you can leave a comment right there, and we probably won't ever respond to you because the guy who sends us emails never ever responded to him. I'm Mick.
Yeah, I'm Tyson.
He's
in charge of the emails. Don't blame me.
Yeah, we're a review retrospective pop culture let's play show, so you're gonna get a little bit of that as we discuss a game today. That's it. So back numbered shows. It's good. As every year
feels good.
As every year, I like to kind of put a challenge here. Can they run the gauntlet? Is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater better than today's game? We'll find out. So at the end of today's show, we'll find out if Snake Eater can run the gauntlet and be the best game we played all year, or it loses. I think I tried it at show 100 with Star Fox, and ultimately show 102 was better than Star Fox. So the gimmick didn't go very far.
You know what? That's a fun thing we should do at the end. But
Okay.
I'm excited. This is a game from my childhood. I'm excited to get into it. Are you excited to get into it, Mick?
I'm not excited, because you know why? I'm kind of curious to find out what episode 102 was.
More interested in that. I
think actually it was GoldenEye. I think that's what happened. It literally might be GoldenEye. So that might have been the sequence we did that in. I'm right there, guys. I'm almost there. I'm going to hold off on this point, and it was GoldenEye 102. Look at that. Boom. I have so much useless knowledge in my head. So much useless knowledge. But like today's game is not useless knowledge, but it's in my head. It's Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64. It's developed by Rare. It sold 50 to 55,000 in the first month due to its high price, mature label, and being released late in the N64 cycle. It was released March 5th, 2001. How Long to Beat has this game at 10 to 12 hours. And on eBay, a copy of this game will cost anywhere from $60 to $400. Ooh, baby.
Dang. Pretty steep.
Yeah.
Steep.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't sell a lot because it's a mature game, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents who are like, sure, son, I'll buy you this little squirrel game. It's got a little squirrel on it. Look how cute he is.
But the problem now is you have PS2 games that are now cheaper than your N64 game. And I think that's ultimately what hurt it, right? It was like the $60, $80 price tag that ultimately people were like, why would I spend this on my N64? Like, I just got a PS2. It plays DVDs. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unless you were like, this is my only game console, I feel like you were probably moving on to other things.
Yeah.
I got nothing against this game, but you're right. There was probably way better games at this time. To a point where, you know what? Let's hold that thought until we get into it.
Literally, and I've been doing some research, and I've discovered some things. So I'm excited to get into it. Where to play this game? You have to go on an OG cart, an emulator, or Rare Replay on the Xbox One.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, that was one of those things. I've never been an Xbox guy, but I've always been jealous that they got the Rare Replay predominantly for Banjo and this game. So I didn't love Banjo. Let's see if Conkers can make me really regret not having an Xbox. Wayback Machine from March 5th, 2001 is the first place, so unfortunately we have to stop. Why? Because I said so. And that's the bottom line. Actually, no, it's because we have to find out what the pop cultural landscape looks like so we can talk about the development details afterwards. But first, we got to kind of lay at the scene because maybe you're alive at this point and you're like, what was going on at this point? So the top TV shows from March 2001 are Crossing Jordan, 24, Law and Order, 6 Feet Under, Fear Factor, and Scrubs.
Oh. Nah, you what else is going on? That's some mid TV.
Crossing Jordan just seems like if they're like, hey, do you want to go to stay at school an hour later or watch Crossing Jordan when you get home? I'd be like, I'm okay doing another hour of math today, to be honest with you. Let's do some mad minutes. Yeah, all right, woo. Top cartoons. Yep. Justice League, Total Spy, Samurai Jack, Fairly Odd Parents, and The Oblongs. Oh, okay.
There it is. This is some good stuff. You can watch all these good cartoons. Yeah. No, I'm in. Cartoons, excellent.
I feel like we've been around this period similarly with some other games we've recently just played, because in WWE, the pay-per-view at this point was No Way Out from 2001, which is the WrestleMania, or the pay-per-view that precedes WrestleMania X7. I know we talked about this at some point. The Rock defeats Kurt Angle in the main event, and Triple H defeats Stone Cold in 3 stages of hell.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we might have been watching some at this time.
No, we missed this one. We watched the Royal Rumble. And then...
Oh, yeah. I saw it. For some reason, I was like, yeah, we definitely watched this WrestleMania. Because we always used to watch WrestleMania in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's
We would mostly skip the rest.
This one, right? You're like, okay, whatever. Top. But I feel like we were just here. And then we did, like, our next show is, like, a month later. I don't know. We'll talk about the games. I don't know if any of these ones pop up. Maybe. Top movies. So this week you could see Spot Run or The Mexican. Okay. Still in theaters. Could be 3,000 Miles to Graceland or Hannibal.
Okay.
And if you waited a week or two, you could see Enemy at the Gates, Heartbreakers, and Spy Kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Enemy at the Gates, one of my favorite, like, World War II movies.
It's not bad, yeah.
And I always really liked Heartbreakers. There could be a couple reasons why. But I seem to remember having a crush on a certain actress in that movie. And I remember, like, seeing that commercial and being like, I need to own this. This needs to be a movie that I watch regularly for some reason.
Oh, Jennifer Love.
Now everybody's gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like,
just watch the trailer for that movie, and you're like, I could see why a teenage Tyson was very intrigued by this movie.
That's Susan Sarandon. Hello.
Hey, they're Heartbreakers.
Cool. All right, interesting. I would have been like, I don't know anything about this, but well done. Top video games released in March from 2001. We saw Star Wars Episode 1: Battle for Naboo, Onimusha, Warlords, that's one word, Clona 2, Pokemon Stadium 2, and Zone of the Enders.
Yeah. So when you can spend like $60 or $80 on a Conker's Bad Fur Day, or you could probably buy Onimusha.
And Zone of the Enders, potentially, yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to spend your money on? It's going to be like, I'm buying... Onimusha and Zone of the Enders. I'm sorry, bought Conkers.
Well, let's talk about the controls after first memories today. But we'll do the development details, then we can talk about our first memories, because I think they kind of go hand in hand. So, development details of this fun game. Conker's Quest began development after the release and success of Super Mario 64. It was going to be a full Disney-style movie game where Conkers would play through a Bambi-like world. In 1998, the game's title was changed to The 12 Tales of Conker, probably to not confuse people since Quest 64 also existed. Yeah, Conker's Quest 64. But it was so successful. You don't want to be a Quest 64? I bet you that sold more money than you, Conkers. Or sold more copies. After the release and success of Banjo, the game was cancelled since it was going to be released into a very saturated market. The team then shifted to reworking the game and giving it a more mature take. Kind of edgy, maybe put a backwards hat and give them sunglasses, but with more attitude. In 2000, they announced the game would still be worked on, but in a new form. The beginning, middle, and end. Let's stop there. So, I mean, kind of makes sense. It did seem like there's a lot of platformers that appeared kind of in 98. So
Yeah. This isn't really a platformer though. Really, it's kind of like just like an adventure game.
no, but
It has, like,
it's a
some
3D platformer, right? That's what you'd call it. Like,
I guess
it's what Mario looked like.
It's definitely not a collectathon though.
I don't know. Sometimes I had to move corn across the bricks a few times, and I was like, this is kind of eclectic. Oh, you want me to do the same thing 3 times? Okay. The beginning, middle, and end of the story worked on all at once. The story team ensured making references to pop culture to help audiences relate to the humor. I mean, that is a very good way of making people laugh. You just remind them of other funny things, and then people go, ha, Will Ferrell. What a guy.
Yeah. Well, and interestingly enough, they didn't know where they were going. They were just kind of like doing it, and none of the cinematics are scripted. Which, oh boy, that explains a lot.
Oh my gosh!
Because sometimes these two characters are just talking, and they're still talking, and you're like, am I supposed to be laughing? What's happening?
It's not funny. And like the voice, I mean, we'll get into the compression that they do on the voice acting in this game, but sometimes when you're talking, it's terrible. The opening part where you're talking to the birdie, scare birdie, I almost stopped then because I just hate it. I'm scared birdie. And I'm like, what is happening right now? This is the finished product? And they kept talking. Talking. There are 2 hours of cutscenes in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Audio makes up 40 to 80 megabytes of the 64 megabyte cartridge. This is also why the game cost so much, because we had to get the big juicy cart. I have an idea.
Brilliant decision.
I have an idea. I know we wasted a lot of time already, but what if we just put in some text? We're not sure what Scare Birdie said, so there's no way we could create subtitles for this game. Oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. Conker's peeing animation only shows stuff from behind. If you could see anything when you look head on, the game would have an adult-only rating.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I never really tried to mess around with that.
You weren't like, I want to see that squirrel penis really badly. Okay, that's good. There are some rejected material referencing Pokemon, the Ku Klux Klan, and some other scrapped characters in the cheese field, and 6 drug rats.
I get it, because you're making a parody of Rugrats.
Yeah, okay. They wanted to add some fetish gear to the cows in the Yeehaw, and included expanding them. They wanted to act out... Oh, so this is just some stuff that they cut. So they wanted to add some fetish gear to the cows in Yeehaw. They wanted to act out the ending of Jaws with the bulldog fish, rather than just have them crash into the wall. And that's it. I don't know why those last sentences were written that way. Huh, neat. Okay, cool.
Yeah. You could tell that they were kind of like, okay, we got a new area. What the hell are we doing? The Matrix is cool. Okay, good call.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan was cool. It's like, okay.
I mean,
let's just
those
recreate
were really
that
big
scene
movies.
for scene.
Yeah.
They were, but at the same time, like the first chunk of the game, we're like, okay, let's like hit a gargoyle with a frying pan, and then let's try to get a ticklish sunflower, and then it just like gets into parody central.
Yeah. It does go from like more of a jovial Looney Tune field kind of world, and I was kind of digging it. But yeah, then all of a sudden, like Tyson was kind of alluding, they just start getting into like referencing of movies for no reason. Like, oh,
yeah,
I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, sure. Oh, who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? Nothing crazy came up during that point, but a couple points we'll talk about. Let's talk about the controls of this game. So the joystick moves around. A jumps, B attacks. There are 2 switches that give you contexts or sensitive items. Oh, I get it. Context-sensitive items. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, context-sensitive items. Oh, context-sensitive items. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sensitive to context.
Yeah. Actually, sensitive to context, but Oh, okay.
while being heavily compressed.
Why are we all going to talk like this? You have to jump, run, swim, avoid, shoot, context sensitive, and collect money in this gross world. The game constantly changes the gameplay. You will need a guide to figure out what it actually wants to do in a given area, since you might need to platform, swim, or puzzle solve, or engage in combat. Who knows? I can't track it.
Yeah.
Do you have money? I don't know. Do you have enough? Are you done this world? Who can
Are
say?
you doing this for money, or what are we doing next?
Where am I?
I think that I was in this area and I got some money, and then I walked over to that other area and I think I got some money.
Am I done everything here?
And then I had to do this other thing, and then somehow I got money, and then...
Well, according to this guide, I've completed everything. I guess I leave this area. It didn't tell me to. Oh, and I have to complete this area first before I complete the poo area so I can get to this. What is happening, guys? What is going on? So, as we were just alluding, when we get to the game, things get a little messy. So, a little bit messy. But first, we got to talk about the first memories of this game. I have a blank spot in my mind. That's it. I literally, touching right now. Boop, boop, boop. My hand's on it. I have a stack of Nintendo Powers from the early 2000s. We had Nintendo Power at this time. It was given to us every month. We could look at every new Nintendo product that was coming out. We could be told about Nintendo products we could go buy. There's nothing. Now, what I learned was this game literally never got mentioned in Nintendo Power. They never reviewed it. They never put ads out. Why? Because Nintendo didn't like the mature content. Right? Oh, okay. Apparently the beginning scene where Conker cuts the N64 logo with a chainsaw, apparently when Miyamoto first saw that, he called up the Rare, like the owner of Rare, and was like, what's going on? Like, what that was like super aggressive. Like, do you have an issue with us? So there was like a bit of a strenuous, tenuous relationship going on at that point, and you see it in the advertising where like it does not exist. Now I do know that we played it once, we rented it, or your friend or something had it, right? Multiplayer, we kind of played the beach level, we were on the gun a couple times. I don't know. I don't remember playing through the actual missions at all, or being in the world, which seems odd. It's just odd. I don't know. But why? Most games I'd play through the story. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Or like get lost in the world. This one had no interest. Interestingly enough, side tangent before Tyson gets into his first memories. I did find around this time a Nintendo Power that featured a complete walkthrough of Mega Man 64. So I think that's how we beat the game.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like, scene for it, go here, go there, collect this. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So clearly we had these Nintendo Power magazines, and the only time you could ever beat a video game is when Nintendo Power, like, released your video. I could beat Spawn now. I know how. Oh, God, it's here. So, video games, they're great. Do you have any first memories of Conker's Bad Furs, or just what's your experience with the title?
Remember it coming out? I want to say that our friend down the road had it, because I definitely remember playing lots of it at his house. But I also seem to remember like renting it or having it at some point, to the point where I got to the Ticklish Sunflower.
Okay.
And then I stopped playing the game at some point quickly after that, because I was like, I don't remember getting to the giant poo or anything like that. But I remember playing like a lot of the multiplayer. So I feel like our friend down the road that he had it.
Yeah.
And I must have just played it on those many of those. Hey, we're done playing Halo. Let's play Conker or something.
Well, maybe that's just it. We were in like a group setting, so we never really had the experience or the chance to sit and play more of the like the single player, kind of that intimate experience you get when you kind of just play by yourself. Okay, yeah, you're right. We didn't do that. Sorry, I just thought of what I said, and that was funny. So, but if we played in the group, maybe that's just why we didn't have it. I don't know. And again, it probably was a game that, like, maybe Mom wouldn't rent for us, but he rented and we had to go check it out because it was, like, a bad game. Like, oh, he pees on people. But obviously we're not good enough to see that.
Yeah, he gets drunk. That's so cool.
Whoa, rad. I can't wait till I become a drifter.
Yeah. And have a smoking hot girlfriend for some reason, even though you're kind of useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just drinking with the guys.
What? Why are you talking like this? Stop it. I hate it. Cool. So that is the beginning of Conker 64. Let's look at the game exactly. Plus there's parts. There's an ending. And there's a couple parts. Oh yeah, tons of stuff left. Conkers. Whoop whoop. Story of this game. So the game opens with Conker sitting on a throne. He begins to tell you the tale of how he got there. This is a flashback to him drinking in a bar, stumbling home, and starting the adventure. And through the game, we see a cutscene of a Panther King wanting to use Conker as a leg for a table. Okay.
Yes, because it has 3 legs, and it keeps
tipping.
His milk keeps falling off the table, and their only solution to this is a red squirrel attached to that leg.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. It's interesting. Yeah. Game menu. Level notes. Game menu. There's 3 save files. There's options. You can enter some cheats, which gets you can unlock all the chapters. And then actually, if you do that, you can skip cutscenes, because the first time through, you have to watch every cutscene on subsequent playthroughs or viewings. You can skip it, but it makes you watch everything the first time through. And you can see a dead Banjo and Kazooie in the little pub. So, it's kind of fun.
Yes. It's almost like Rare has a good... Rare, as much as they like, oh, this is a dumb sense of humor, I'm like, it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. It's not it's kind of got like a very like dumb humor, but it's enjoyable. It's like Mad TV, the video game.
Yeah, it's just fun. Most of it's annoying, but then sometimes you get Boom Boom I Like Party, and you're like, oh, it was worth it. Okay. Hangover. So we start. You have to talk to a scaredy birdie. You learn about context-sensitive items, and you stop being drunk, and then we can swim, and then we have to get a frying pan, and then we have to hit a gargoyle, and then we move into the game's kind of hub world. Windy.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
How did you play this game?
On original N64 hardware on my 60-inch rear projection TV in my basement.
Got you. Okay. So you probably had an okay experience, controls wise, I should say. I hated those controls, because I was like, let me play the Rare Replay, and I was like, wow, this handles terribly. So I actually have attached to my Xbox account Conker's Live and Reloaded.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like the remaster. And it fixes the controls, because I got to one of the areas where you have to aim, and it's inverted up and down and left and right. And I'm like, what? No, awful, bad, boo.
I was okay. It was more of like, I don't know where to aim. Like when you have a slingshot randomly, you just have to like kind of, I don't know to inch, go 2 inches up and then shoot. But I never had like a problem like figuring out that direction. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's like I like you being able to turn on and off inversion.
Yeah, sure.
That's just a creature comfort thing for me. My brain is so thankful. So I played up to that point on the Rare Replay, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Okay.
So I installed the Live and Reloaded, which, yes, has some censored stuff, but as just an overall gameplay, man, I'd play that any day, because it just plays smoother.
Part of my research in doing this, I did look at OG N64 versus the Rare Replay, and people were saying it looks better, it's cleaner, it sounds way better, because they don't have the sound compression. So it's like, I'm scaredy birdie, and you're like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. It just, you were doing far too much with your stupid voice, and the N64 produced an awful sound. Oh God, what was that? That's fair. Yeah, I didn't have too many issues. This was also coming out, I was kind of sick from the break, and I was just trying to get back into doing something that wasn't laying on the couch and just being in pain. So one of my joys of actually starting kind of the New Year's was getting to play this game, and taking the little minutes, the hours, to just come sit on the couch, plug in my N64, kind of play through this experience. And I'll be honest with you, early on, I wasn't a fan. I beat Barn Boys, and then I kind of was done with the game, and I was like, this game's stupid. Everyone who's ever played it is stupid, and I hate this. This is dumb. But I was like, let's be persistent, keep going. And as I kind of battled through a little bit more, once I got kind of just to the point where I was just skipping chapters, it was definitely more fun. Because there's some parts of the game you're like, this is a new mechanic. You're teaching me this very difficult, crappy mechanism and I have to beat it to beat the game. No, I don't like that. So sometimes you just skip stuff and it's better. So, but in Windy, we have to talk to Mrs. B. We have to visit a poo cabin. We have to pruned. I think we have to give prune to some cows, and then we have to kill the cows, and we have to swim through some sewage. I just feel like there's like all the levels. Oh, I see. And then Wasp's Revenge and the Mr. Barrel. Okay. Any of those you want to talk about? Oh, I see. I have my favorite part and then my worst favorite part. Interesting. So in the opening area, you were tasked at saving a nest, shooting some beetles, rolling up a ball of poo, and shooting some wasps. Okay. We did it. What is your favorite part of Windy?
Man, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like a cute little world so far.
It's just the atmosphere that this game sets, the theme, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like this game, I don't love that you were talking to me earlier and whatever that sounds the characters were making. Oh, and then Birdie, the scare Birdie shows up, and I'm like, I can't listen to this guy ever again. If he follows me around again, I'm done. But he stops. But like getting to this part where the music picks up and you kind of jump around and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of neat, cool, awesome. So basically we are tasked at, once we clear some beetles, we can move up the hill, we can go either to a barn or we can go play in some poo, which is weird. They want you to play in the barn first, but they want you to go to like the poo hill first. I don't know what they're going for. Let's go with Barn Boys, because that's what I did. So from here we have to find some cheese, explore the roof, stop some hay, help a drunk bee, and then fight a Terminator hay pile.
Yeah. A lot of platforming in this area.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I did. I wrote down all of like the little chapters, or like all of the chapters. So that's what the top one is. So as we're going through, if just like we can double check we don't like forget something. That's what that's supposed to be. Favorite part?
Sunflower.
Okay.
Tickling the sunflower. It's like you meet the queen bee, and she's like, yeah, my no good husband ran away with some, I forget what she says. It's like ran away with another woman. And then you meet the sunflower with the
I think she says big breasted.
Well endowed.
Because Conker is mentioned like, oh, big breasted. And then, yeah, when you meet the drunken bee, he's like, oh, I'm infatuated with this flower. I need to go pollinate with her or something. Like, can you help me?
All I want to do is just pollinate all over.
What did I say? Favorite part? I there was a little area where there was like the cheese corral or something. You can get 10 lives. And I thought, wow, that's pretty great. Every time I enter and exit the barn, I can get 10 lives. Although they were set down to 3 every new playthrough. So, moo. Least favorite part is doing all the platforming to get the tickle bees to unlock the flower. It's just the same thing. You just have to go on the roof and get the bees, and then slowly walk over to her, and then get back up on the roof. Oh, you fell, you died. Son of, like, I died so many times trying to get those stupid bees to follow her. I was just like,
so in the remake, you just have to find the first one, and then you just make a little lap, gathering all
of them at the same time. Yeah,
all 5 bundles. But there's no one on top of the barn anymore. All 5 are just on the ground level.
I mean, even up on the roof is fine. Like, because you fall off, you lose some health. But if you fall from like the top of the roof, it's such a fall distance, you just blow up.
Yeah.
So like, there was a couple times I was collecting them, and I'm trying to get way to the top, and I'm like trying to do this jump, and and I missed. And that was it. And I was like, oh my God. So, bit of a struggle. I was able to find out most things. I don't know if I even looked up anything in this area. So I was able to kind of get through the Windy, through Barn Boys, before I kind of went to like the poo cabin. And I think during the cow fight of Yeehaw is kind of when I was like, I don't know what you want from me, game. Like I've lost the script of what a mechanic I'm missing, and finally ended up looking up a guide. I made the game more enjoyable. So, that was Barn Boys. That means though we have to kind of go back to. I think we technically. I don't No. Oh, I see. So back in Windy, we can finish the Mr. Barrel. That unlocks another area. The Wasp's Revenge. That's just the second time, I believe, we go into the nest. And then the Great Ball of Poo is just you move it around, and that just unlocks the Bat's Tower. So there is one point you can kind of push this Ball of Poo over to this edge. It falls on this, I don't know, he's like a gremlin guy with a spiky head, which gives us access to the Bat's Tower. So we must swim down a river, we explore a tower, we find some cogs, shoot some letters, swim, find some bubbles, piss on a fire, and fight a furnace.
Yeah. A very random, like, side tangent-y thing. But you get to meet all the catfish, and there's a giant dogfish. And the catfish are very prim and proper. And
Well,
then
he's a
the
bull.
dog.
I think he's a bullfish, but he's a bulldog.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a pretty frustrating platforming part to kind of get up to unlock the one area.
Yeah.
Like there's like a little like switch, and that's a real pain to like climb all the way up this bloody thing and get it.
Well,
But you got to do it because there's like some Splatoonies, or whatever the frick they're called, the money.
oh yeah.
At the very, very top, and you're like, and if you miss that stupid jump, then you got to go all the way down.
What?
Luckily, getting game overs in this game is meaningless.
It's true. You just pick up, keep going through the experiment. But yeah, as Tyson, I think probably the most frustrating parts is like chasing the cogs too. As you're trying to get through this, open the door. Finally, though, we go outside. The combination is you just go change the wrong sign to right. Hey, it works. We have to spell out something terribly with slingshots before we get to do some terrible swimming. I tried it once, and the review I said, this part sucks. So I just skipped to the peeing part. Yay. You fight the big furnace guy, and you win. Hooray. I could somehow beat the bosses, but it was like the miscellaneous stuff in this game that just beat me down. Oh, baby. Like, just awkwardly swimming. I'm like, or platforming and, like, falling down the pit. And I'm like, ugh.
Or chasing the cogs that are slightly faster than you.
Oh,
so you
you
have to like
didn't
run
go
away.
to the Yeah.
And then you got to run all the way back. Yeah. So in the Live and Reloaded remake, there's 3 cogs. One's super easily accessible. 2's pretty easy accessible. And then the last one, there's only 1 at the end of that swimming hallway, or 2 at the end of that swimming hallway, and they're super easy to get.
Sure.
So it's like, well, it seems like they tried to take a lot of the frustrations and streamline it. That's why I was so thankful I had a copy of the Live and Reloaded. Like, yes, it's censored, but I'm like, man, from just an approachability standpoint, this is an infinitely more fun experience.
For myself, favorite part. I said the Jaws reference, although it's not really a Jaws reference because Jaws never eats a pier. You're thinking of Godzilla, but he never really eats the pier.
Godzilla?
Too. I think it's like
just burst through it.
I think it's just like a reference to a Jaws cartoon or something. And the worst part was swimming.
Well, I think it's also like the swimming behind you, and does it make the dun 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 dun?
And he's like kind of like
getting closer.
Yeah, and he's like biting. I don't know. He's biting all the way up the dock and then hits up on the land and crashes.
Eats all the catfish. Yeah.
Okay. But they do have lots of lives, so maybe they come back. So yay, catfish! Even though you're eaten, and like horribly.
Oh.
If you like them, they just like when they're dead, they're like skeletons and blood. You're like, oh. Huh.
This game is epitome of like the same thing with the yeehaw, like the cows.
Yeah.
Like we didn't really even talk about that, where it's like you had to feed these cows some prunes, and then you ride around the giant bull, and you literally like
smash them to pieces,
smack them into millions of pieces. You got to do it 3 different times.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're just constantly killing like goofy, like big bulgy eyed cartoon characters throughout the entirety of this game.
Well, and
it's pretty juvenile.
It is, and it is one of those things where it's just these boring, repetitive tasks. In Barn Boys, we have to get a piece of cheese.
Do it 3 times.
And move it past this thing. Oh, I need 3 more. And you're like, what? And even the cows. Like that part, that's the part where I got stuck, where all of a sudden the bull's chasing you and he's hitting a target, and then somebody gets stuck to a wall, and now somehow I'm supposed to figure out to jump on the bull that I've been avoiding? Okay. Like what? How? Oh, if you listen to all the dialogue, sometimes they give you hints. Sometimes they give me hints. Why don't they just tell me what they'd like me to do? plainly. It's not a mystery
Yeah.
game. I'm not playing a...
Or it's like Conker will see something and be like, I think I get the idea.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What?
please enlighten
Yeah,
me,
what-
because I wasn't paying attention because you talked for 15
What
minutes.
is it? Right. It's just kind of like these insulary things that they kind of ask of you, and you're like, what is happening? But there's more stuff. So we'll go from there. You can, actually pretty early on, you could kind of like accidentally open up this area. So in the Big Pooh Mountain, if you roll the ball and you hit a beetle and you roll to a different hole, it breaks a door, which then gets you access to kind of like the fourth part, which is really just a boss fight against the great and mighty, the notorious boss fight, the Great Mighty Pooh. So he sings a song, you throw TP at him in his mouth, and then one time he sings and breaks like a mirror, you flush him down the toilet, and that's the Great and Mighty Pooh.
Yeah. Kind of a quick area. Obviously, it's just a punchline area. Like, let's put poo in this game. And then you throw toilet paper because poop and diarrhea is hilarious.
Hello, so funny.
Yeah, favorite part, song? Is it the song?
Yeah, probably. I am the Great Mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. As a kid, you were just like, this is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
I think that this game, like, has a lot of those moments where, like, you just want to talk about them on, like, the playground when you were kids with all your buddies. You're like, oh, then I was playing this one part, and there's,
But
like, a giant poo, and he, like, sings to me. It's like, that's funny. That's, like, something to talk about.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but it's the taste of, I don't know, it's weird, right? Like a singing poo could be fun, and it could definitely be played for, I think, a kid audience. You could get away with something, like maybe not, maybe they consider it mature content, right? But it was like, it's literally toilet humor and make fun toilet jokes. But this one, it kind of does seem like it's like mean, you know, sometimes like when just like adults or like commies are just mean for no reason. Conker's kind of has like, we're just gonna be mean humor type thing. I don't know. It's not like in a good, not like a well mannered. It's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's parts I'm like, oh really? We're gonna that's the kind of humor we're going for, right?
Well, there's like a, yeah. Go on.
We're I don't know. It's just like, it's like you see massive amounts of diarrhea coming out of the cows that you blow apart. Cool. And then there's like a singing. I don't know. It's just, what are you going for? And I think it's kind of like they're going for more mature Family Guy style humor, whereas you're right, it should be a kid's game. It's about a cute squirrel. I'm just saying. Anyways, favorite part, song, worst favorite part. You 3 times, you throw toilet paper in them 3 times. That's how you win. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my least favorite part is just like, it's kind of unoriginal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're going to have a whole area about a singing poo. On to the next area, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I need games to kind of like have a through line.
Makes sense.
We're just doing random stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And like, what do you mean random stuff? Like the next part, Ooga Booga. So we go into an ancient underground area where cavemen live. We have to hatch a dinosaur. We have to become a king of the cavemen. We have to invade a club. We can't save our girlfriend who's there, because that was a very important part. Our girlfriend was captured by these rockmen, but we don't really save her. We have to plant a bomb. We have to get mugged. We have to chase down the thieves on our rocket boards before fighting in a coliseum. Ooga Booga.
Yeah. It's so this part, I want to like it.
Yep.
But it's just like really
Bad.
boring, unfunny, poor controls, because you
Yeah.
essentially have to like lead this like little baby raptor, and he has to like eat all the cavemen while you're doing these things, and then you hit a switch and like the mouth of this giant thing comes down and squishes them, and you're like, this game's just like, you're right, it's just mean spirited and like it's unfun to play.
It literally,
It's one of those things where like when you're doing it, you're like, okay, yeah, I get this. It's kind of like an interesting thing. And then you're like, because you guys had no idea what you were frickin' doing and you were just winging it, you think that you're cleverer than you are.
Yeah.
And we're just doing fucking level after level after level, and it's starting to grate on my patience.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things I found, and like I mentioned, is there is no, you don't do anything twice. It's just all context sensitive. So like every little area, you're creating a new challenge. For some reason, I have to roll this bomb across this nightclub and up this area and over. Why? Like, what is happening? Why am I rolling stuff? Like, why is that the big mechanic in your platforming game, right? It just seems so random, and it just seems very unorganized. And yeah, like there's no through line, and they just were just, oh, I gotta put stuff together. Dinosaurs are fun. Oh, okay. Like what's my favorite parts? I kind of like the boss fight. You know what? And throughout the game, I would say boss fights were one things I was able to sit down and beat through a chapter. It'd be hell to get there. Oh man, I could barely get down a hallway, right? It would just be like torturous almost. But then like boss fights, they kind of work. You're on a raptor, you fight this big Booga the Nut fight. Yeah, cool, right? But then like worst parts, you're in the rock club and you're like pushing these things. Or, oh, now we're on a rocket surfboard. I'm on a rocket surfboard and I'm racing? Like, why do why do I have to be good at this?
That one's terrible.
It comes from, and we talked about this a couple months ago when we looked at Mario Sunshine. This is what Banjo did. Banjo came out and like, oh, Banjo is awesome. We love Banjo. You have to do everything in Banjo to move on. It's awful. It's not fun. It's the Mario 64 out of perfect. 70 out of 120. It's all you need to beat the game. Why am I doing everything, right? There's probably some things that aren't fun. But this game is excessively like, you have to do every single part.
And did you collect all the things? Good. Now you can move on.
Well, you didn't collect all the hidden money. So you did all that area, but you didn't take the time to figure out the extra puzzle that we had for you to collect this money, so you don't have enough money, so you can't advance. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, where am I going in this game? What am I collecting?
I thought I was just trying to get home.
That's the thing. Like, he's like, I need to get home because I'm drunk. And then I'm like, I kind of feel like he probably was like, I don't live here. I'm going to go a different way.
Well, and the joke is, where actually does he live?
I don't know.
Like, you run through this entire world and you're like, where actually do you live?
Yeah. And like why have you never been here before?
Yeah. And how did you get here? And where's actually the bar? Like, you leave a bar and you take a right and you wander off, and then all of a sudden you're just in a completely random different world.
And I'm pretty certain that you're walking down the road and you see, the joke is you stumble and you see naughty and nice, and you don't go nice, you go naughty. And then you end up in this world, and then as I'm coming down, when I get to Windy, there's a sign that says naughty and nice. So I'm like, oh, here's that sign. I guess I'll just go nice. And it's the bee house, the queen bee. And I'm like, I guess that's not where I live.
Oh, I know. And that's why it's like, wait, so where did I come from?
Like, where am I going? What's the point of this experience, right? Because like Tyson said, oh, there's this funny running joke that the king wants you as a table leg. But it's not really explained that well, guys. Like Tyson said it's like poorly told over the course of like 6 cutscenes throughout this game. So I'm like, so they don't even want Conker until the end of the game. So what's the point of
or at least like half into the game.
Sure.
And they're like, oh no, we need this. We need a red squirrel. And it's like,
well, then they
wow, we're just getting here in the narrative.
And they kidnap your girlfriend, and then like you can't save her in the club because she doesn't recognize you because you have a hat. And I'm like, that just seems what? Okay, maybe
so dumb.
Maybe there's other parts
that
are not dumb, but probably dumb. Spooky is the next area. So from where Mr. Barrel, in the very first Windy section, kind of behind this is Bee's house. If you head that way, you explore river. We get a shotgun. We fire some zombies. We become a bat, and we fight some zombies. My favorite part was I kind of like the zombie hunt at some point. Not specifically in the graveyard in the beginning, because the zombies come way too quickly, and like you've just given this new. Now we're in a first-person shooter, or a third-person shooter, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember last time we were like power surfing and like fighting on a dinosaur? Now we're in a first-person shooting, fighting zombies. Like, you made every game. You didn't make any of them well, Rare. Yeah. And then
again, it's like they had no plans for how this game was supposed to work. They just showed up to work one day and were like, I feel like we should have a flying bat flying
Well, that's
simulator
it.
next
Oh.
to a bunch of shooting a bunch of zombies.
Okay, so what's the spooky area? That's interesting. Tell us. Okay, so first, yeah, you got to fight some zombies with a gun. Okay, then you got to go around some zombie snakes up this twirling path. Okay, now you're a bat, and you got to pick people up and turn them into bat juice. Okay, now you got to kill more zombies, and then you got to find some keys, and then you got to roll the barrel, and then you're done. You're like, that's it. It's just no through line. It's just randomness. What is happening?
Yes. So best part. I really like the zombie or the vampire Conker's great grandfather,
Sure.
whatever the heck is. I kind of like him.
Okay.
I'm like, I wish this guy would stick around.
Okay.
And then he drinks too much blood and falls into his own grinder and dies. And you're like, oh yes, because every character just randomly has to die a horrible death. That's how this works.
That is how it works. Yeah, I kind of like that part. I think just how quickly the zombies close in on you. There is no fairness. Like, you basically jump on a tombstone, and you got to pick them off, and then find another tombstone and hit them from afar, right? Like, it's just the combat mechanics, and then it took me a while to figure out in the barrel roll. Oh, I see. See, then you're flying as a bat, and then you have to, like, roll the barrel down the windy pass with the skeleton snakes and through the graveyard. It just, like, the genre that changed so quickly. I didn't understand the bat mechanics, because again, you're just throwing this mechanic and like, go. Okay. And now, apparently Z was the poop button. Well, I didn't know that the first set of lives.
And it can fly in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's a complex thing, no tutorial, jump into it, that's only going to be relevant for the next 25 to 2 hours,
and it's going to be
depending on how many times you fail.
Exactly, super sensitive, super specific, and like, oh, if you get too close, you'll get murdered, annihilated. And I'm like, what is happening, guys? Like, this is terrible game design. Absolutely. Like, the fact that people were like, Rare is so great. What did they do other than, I guess, made it
Donkey Kong Country?
I guess
that's it.
Like,
and GoldenEye.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, but GoldenEye is not age 12.
No.
Like, it literally boils down to, like, and you're like, so, here, we'll go on a side tangent.
Yeah.
You were talking about, I'm kind of jealous. I'd like the Rare replay. I'm like, do you want to borrow it?
For what? For
like,
what game? Oh, yeah.
Exactly. You're like, it's like, you're gonna take this home, plug it in, and be like, I don't want to play any of these games.
I mean, ultimately, most of my life I've been trying just to collect games from my youth, right? And you'll see that if you ever came over to my house, you'd be like, oh, this literally just looks like you're trying to collect things you liked when you were younger. 100%. Like, lots of the games I'm just trying to get. And the fact I could get to Conker's Bad Fur Day, I had this, like, physical, I could get to it in a console. That's what was most attractive probably about this, right? After playing through this game, like, I'm very thankful that I kind of stuck to my guns and I never spent a lot of money to play this game, because I would be disappointed. And again, at that point, I never played Banjo-Kazooie, so I would have jumped into those, and I'd be like, really? They counted this? We like this? But at least in the remake of Banjo, you can collect all 100 notes in every level multiple times. In the N64 version, you got to do it in one run. Every level, right? Oh, God, it's just, ugh. But we got 2 more areas left in this game that we got to get through, and then we'll go there, and we'll find out what our current thoughts. Wow, I have so many current thoughts. Interesting. Whoa, it's war. So 6 of 7 or 8 of 9. I don't know how many chapters there are. So you have to turn on the power after being recruited into the Squirrel Army. Push some TNT. You wake up in a boat. You storm a beach. You shoot a lock. Kill some bears in a hallway. Stop some scientists. Get chased by toxic waste. Shoot a tower. Stop some subs before fighting a giant bear. My favorite part is actually one of the nods to, I don't know if they knew they were doing it, but a Metroid nod. We had a Super Metroid nod. So at one point you hit a button and some toxic waste starts to fill up this hallway and you kind of have to run out of it. Very much like Metroid Speedrun when she was running from the acid. I was like, oh, neat. Huh, cool. Worst part was the fights of the subs.
Oh my God.
You get a rocket launcher and there's like 2
Terrible.
of them. And they hit you, and then you get knocked in the water, and you climb back up, and the rocket's already in the air. And if you don't shoot the rockets out of the air, you get hit and you fall back in the water, and you just repeat until you die. And it's miserable. You have to do it 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you die before they're all done, you could just restart, and you get to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Does that sound fun?
So the beginning is kind of
Um,
terrible. The cutscene of him first getting to the war, that's kind of like the homage to the Saving Private Ryan. That done kind of neat, right? Done kind of brutally. Do you like watching squirrels die? You like this game?
I think it's just one of those things where it's like it just reminds me how crazy that opening to that movie is. And like that might be one of the best movies ever made, because like it does not make war glamorous.
No.
It shows how absolutely just horrendous it is, and like it just reminds me of something way better than what you're trying to project game. Like, don't parody things that are way better than you. Don't do it.
It's so funny enough. Put a note in that how great it is. I have a list of all the references. I would say that yes, they picked a very elite references to make. I get it. You watched. It's the Family Guy. You watch TV, right? Like it kind of feels a lot like Family Guy. It's like cultural references. It's kind of like crude and just mean jokes at certain times, and you're like, interesting. Huh.
I have a really hard time picking a favorite part, because this part of the game is just like difficult for the sake, like these bears will just drop down the ceiling and just like insta kill you, and then sometimes you just get stun locked and you just die.
Well, and
I think I got more game overs in this one area than the entire game combined.
So like Tyson's alluding, you're walking down this hallway and there's these vents, and the two bears will drop down out of the vents, but you have to be like within proximity of the vent to trigger them. Is quite close if you're not expecting it. So essentially the game isn't like explore the hallway. It's like inch, wait, inch, wait, inch. Oh, somebody came up from behind a box. Better shoot him. He didn't exist before that, but like just this, you know what I mean? Like it is really, really poorly designed. So I don't blame you for not having a favorite bot. But that means we only have one final area. Then we're done. So at least that's exciting. So you see the private rodent has destroyed the windmill. So the windmill, way back in Windy, that's maybe one of that might be my favorite part actually of Wars. Right at the end, there's like a bomb that goes off, and as you're like leaving with your commander on your ship, all of a sudden you see this like little squirrel go flying over your head. And the start of this chapter is he lands in the windmill and just absolutely decimates it, and he walks out and he's like, I need to go get a drink. You're like, okay, bye, buddy. You find a secret door and you're recruited to join a heist. Matrix style. You matrix up a lobby with your girlfriend Bunny or whatever, she's here for some reason. Before you find yourself...
Barry.
No, Barry. Before finding yourself fighting a xenomorph in a loader suit. Yeah, for some reason. After she gets sucked out of the airlock, she sneak attacks, we freeze time, and then cut the xenomorph's head off. Okay. So, favorite part? The alien fights?
Yeah. I mean, like, so the Matrix parody just has you, like, run in between two
Pillars?
context-sensitive buttons, and then you just, like... slow-mo, shoot down a bunch of things, and it just goes on and on and on. And then you come to the final, like, throwdown. Well, actually, you break into the vault, get a bunch of money. Magically, you look up and like, oh, the giant panther is standing there. And he's just sitting there and chilling. And then eventually, the doctor comes in and they unleash the xenomorph on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
but not before the one guy guns down Barry.
Yes, yeah. So Barry's dead. Her body flies out into space, and you're like, I guess Barry's just dead. We'll never see her again. Even though, like, why was there space? What are the rules of this universe? I don't understand. Because sometimes
great question.
People come back to life, and like, how come you have unlimited lives, but she's a squirrel? How come she doesn't have unlimited lives?
Yeah,
you're friends with the Grim Reaper. Go talk to him.
Yeah. Well, and the Grim Reaper even says, like, oh, squirrels, you have as many lives as you think you can get away with.
Yeah. It's stupid. So, at least favorite parts, most of the Matrix sections, because it's super sensitive. Barry does nothing. Why is she even there? Useless character. And then the rule of 3 that Rare just uses throughout this game. So the ending of this game, now we're done. We are shown in the throne room, sitting on our throne, surrounded by our friends that we made along the way. But Barry being dead... we end up being dead and lonely on the inside. And after the credits, we are shown getting drunk, and we stumble off in a different direction this time.
Yeah. Well, because the Panther, we don't actually fight the Panther. The Panther dies of what? Like a heart attack.
Doesn't he get sucked out of
And
the,
it's-
yeah, or sucked out of the airlock?
Yeah, it's like
or-
but no, he has like a heart attack or something, and because the one doctor tried to poison him, and then he gets sucked out, and then the doctor who's on his like floating chair gets sucked out. So that entire plot just resolves itself.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it is unending, and you're like, I guess you could kind of feel sorry for these characters, but you just don't. Like, you just have no emotional
Yeah.
empathy towards these characters because you spent like, you know, a couple hours with them, but you just like, I don't care about Conker.
No.
Conker's kind of a little turd.
Yeah.
And honestly, he doesn't seem to have any empathy for anyone, and he doesn't seem like to have any true like interest besides getting drunk.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe he's just like broken inside. I don't know. Like you could do something cool with
Yeah.
this idea of a character. You could do something cool with like this whole like world, but because they just didn't really have like a plan and they just kind of like fumbled their way through it, and then I guess we're at the end.
Yeah.
You know, like you just don't feel like any emotional resonance. Like maybe you had a couple laughs along the way, but for the most part, you're probably frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're probably just like, I didn't get
Relieved
anything
that
of
it's
value.
over. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like,
It's kind of
like
like
as much as I kind of like this game, but at the same time, it also like, because it's such a disappointment, and man, this goes back to our conversation.
yeah.
What was it, last episode? It's like, maybe I just like when if I put something on a little bit of a pedestal and it just lets me down,
Mm-hmm.
I just like really start snowballing on how much I dislike
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like, poke holes
You
on
start being like, because the despair between reality and expectations is so great, and it's in a negative way. You're like, mine is 47 of 10? How is that
Yeah.
possible? Yeah, it does just kind of snowball. Yeah, it's a experience that I had. This game is rough. After the first two attempts, I actually almost quit. Completing Windy and Barn Boys without a walkthrough almost wrecked the game experience for me, right? I almost stopped, wrote down the notes, and I was going to just shit on it. Be like, this game's terrible. But I did persist on. I founded the guide. I used some cheats. I experienced the game. Some of it was terrible. A lot of it was frustrating. A lot of it you just wanted to be like, I can't do this anymore. The controls sucks. The voice acting stuck. The story kind of sucks. I'm like, where am I going? Why am I here? What's happening? Most of the time, they're just changing genres for just no reason. They don't have one puzzle that, you know, like requires an older skill or gameplay idea. Almost every chapter and every scene area has you do something new. No ideas left to linger. And without a guide, you would spend 60% of the time running around being like, what do I do? There is some charm, I'll say that. Some fun parts, some experiences in this game. They're actually quite well thought out, enjoyable. They are just surrounded by an upside-down worth of terrible gameplay. I was disappointed with how little I had with the game on average, how little fun I had. Mario 64 keeps being brought up in my research of this game. When they mention Banjo, we're bound, but I just don't understand how you take the transparency of those previous titles and ignore it, removing the sense of progression and tracking, and leave us with an experience and have the gall to cut the N64 logo with your stupid mascot in this terrible game. Rare hung their hat on this experience, and they were proud of what they gave you. I am glad I gave this more time, but ultimately it leaves me with a thumbs down experience that is probably worth skipping.
Yeah.
When was the last time I wrote out something that well thought out? Clearly I had some thoughts with this game.
Yeah, I feel like you've been simmering on this one. Man, I guess this game just kind of brings it out in you, doesn't it? Because it's like this is like the end of Rare in what could be considered like a passable games.
Yeah.
And since we started this one of the first games we did was like Donkey Kong Country. A good chunk of our like childhood was Rare.
Yeah.
Good Rare games. And then now we're at that point where you're like, man, this developer that like used to make some like just amazing things that, you know, competed with the big boys of like, you know, the Marios and the Zeldas or whatever, the worlds. And it's like, and then now we're here at this point where we're like, what were you guys doing?
Yeah.
What was happening? And like, I mean, you kind of say like, I know we both didn't have a great time with Banjo at all. And now we're kind of hitting at like Conkers, and like, yeah, well, this is now kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
Feels like this developer was just like, that you could just feel like this developer and the inspiration of making good games just kind of fall out the window. And to me, it's like, I think like the whole like symbolism of like the cutting up the N64 is like, oh, we're going to be trying to be edgy. Maybe we're getting a little bit too big in our britches, where they feel like they can just kind of do no wrong. But I feel like they're also just like the creatively like bored from making video games. Like you just hit like, probably because a lot of those earlier developers that worked on the stuff is probably still with Rare, and they're probably all about to leave. And it's like, I can see why. Like you just kind of have like that magic of get a bunch of creative people together, they make something amazing, and then eventually that some voices in the room start getting bigger than they should, and the rest of everybody else starts getting burnt out.
I would think that this game is like hubris gone awry of things of like, how do you in 2000 justify spending, getting a giant 64 megabyte cart, which doesn't sound egregious, but comparatively, like you could have put this experience outside of the voice acting on something small. Like, how do you not come back and look at this and just say, cost wise, do you really think this experience, the story that you're telling, that you're sharing, is worth the cost, right? Because just even that decision alone, you could get this game on shelves for $40. People would buy it. You get more sales. You get your mark out there. But it was almost like maybe they just didn't have faith in the project, and at a certain point they were just like, fuck it, right? Like, it's mostly there, just keep going with it. I don't know, it was missing a guiding light or something like that. So what would you change though? Now it's your chance, you get to tell them. Honestly, just give me a tracking system. Oh, there's 7 chapters, in every chapter you get a nut. If you get enough nuts, you nut to the level. I don't know. Look, I'm being gross. I'm making dumb jokes. I'm just pulling stuff in my hair. You get tail. You got lots of tail in that area. Oh, so, something. And then I'm like, oh, I'm done this area. I can move on. Oh, I should stay here and get another thing. But just some level of like the most rudimentary just inventory. Here's where you're going, right? Just give me a hub. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm honestly just thinking of like a pause screen where it just shows you
yeah, that's it. That's what I'm asking for. Literally, you pause.
That's all. Yeah, that's all you really need.
That's all I want. And just like, oh, okay, I might have to go back to Barn Boys because I only have 4 of the 5 missions. I wonder what the other mission is. As opposed to
missing a Spendoli or whatever the heck they're called. I'm missing one of them in this area. And then you're just like, okay, let me just retrace my steps and listen for the little like, hey, it's money over here or something. It's like, yeah, would make things a lot easier.
A map. Oh, is where I'm going. Whoa. Okay, cool, right? So do you have a what would you change? A change?
Nah, I like yours.
Okay.
I like yours.
I mean, it does seem fairly like the obvious one, right? So, cool. How about an are you buying it? So what killed Conkers? I would say that is a failure of a game based on not just sales, right? This was a failure of a game based on just sales. What do you think could have fixed it? Earlier release dates, less mature content, no voice acting, which would have got you smaller cart, lower price. Is it fixable? Could you have fixed this experience?
Yeah, okay. So, cut the voice acting, do it just text. Then you probably sell this cheaper and get it faster.
Yeah. And
I
honestly,
I think you just spend too much time on those little things.
Yeah. And honestly, send it to Nintendo and get notes. I don't want this. We need the great mighty poo. That is the best part of this game. Okay, well then you can't have like hookers and like drug rats. Oh yeah, okay, that's fair, right?
Yeah.
You can make a mature game that's fun and like kind of like Shrek light that has jokes like "kiss my ass."
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You gotta like, because you're like beholden to Nintendo because you're on Nintendo's system, and if they're doing all your advertising for you,
just
you have to stay on their good side.
100% crushed it, and
like.
It's interesting. One of the things I want to do is like organize all my Nintendo powers, and at some point if you look through them, you're gonna through them and be like, man, so much of my formative just opinions of what video games were just from the pages of these Nintendo powers. It's weird, right?
Yes.
So
the age before the internet, like
how you
we
got it, right?
all used to just buy magazines.
Oh,
like I remember the original Xbox magazine, the PlayStation magazines, EGM or Electronic Gaming Monthly, and it's like, and getting demo discs. Like that was our lives.
I mean, ultimately,
and you might have reviews on the Ren or Electric Playground for any of the like video game stuff, because the rest of your life just wasn't going to be available.
But I know, like, I would say maybe even the epicenter of maybe this podcast and thinking and talking about video games as much as I do was that garage sale, that big community garage sale we went to as kids, and we got, this guy had 12 Nintendo Powers. And we sat there and we'd read through these old Nintendo Powers, and you're like, what? You know, and it just kind of infused it into your brain. And yeah, like, great, here's $20. Here's an advertisement. That's all these magazines are, just advertisings. Perfect.
Yeah,
put them in kids.
That was the best decision I made.
And you like,
so it'd be like, oh, we need these.
Yeah, and read through them anyways. So it is one of those. It's interesting, right? Just kind of looking back at those, and I don't know where like Podtendo ever goes in the future, but if you ever needed to like do something else, well, I went on to do is like take all these old Nintendo Powers and like digitize them and talk. They're already digitized, so I can just find the PDFs and talk about them, right? So I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, if we ever need side content, we could probably just be like, let's talk about the first 5 Nintendo Powers.
Just one by one go through Nintendo Powers and talk about how they look and feel. Actually, I had that thought with, what was it? Was it Nintendo Powers? No, game manuals. Going back in like Super Nintendo like game manuals and just looking at the art, like the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past game manual. You look through it and you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, all the imaging is just beautiful. Anyways, that's it. So we're done talking about this game that you kind of want to love it. And I kind of came around, and the reason I didn't quit, and I'm not just telling you it's awful, and I'm sitting there and I'm telling you, I'm like, this experience is just like, oh, what are we doing? Put the cheats on and level select. You can play through all the chapters, give it a chance, play through them a couple times. When you're annoyed, move on to the next chapter. That's what I did. It was mostly a good experience. I was like, okay, interesting. Huh, cool. But with that, yeah, unless you have something else to add, let's do a cultural significance, then we could be done. And then we're back in Zelda.
If you can find it, grab the Live and Reloaded. The censorship's not that bad, and the changes of how this game
is even
plays
pricey though.
Dramatic.
It's like $80. Yeah. So
I luckily still had it
okay.
digitally, because I think at 1 month during like the last couple of years of like Xbox Live Gold with games, or what the heck it is, their monthly games, that was one of the games that they gave out for free, and I was like, sick.
Nice.
So
sweet, cool. Okay, so
sometimes you can get lucky.
All right, so in cultural significance, in this section we look at game design, lore, inspiration, in the end. That was my Conker's Bad Fur Day take of this. All right, so cultural.
That's a Mr. Scarecrow Birdie impersonation.
Scarecrow Birdie. Oh, I just hated his voice so much. Like, that almost stopped me playing this game. Cultural significance, topic 1. So Nintendo's identity crisis and the end of all ages illusion. So Conker's Bad Fur Day represents one of the most extreme changes in Nintendo's long-standing, family-friendly image. Developed by Rare and released in 2001, the game deliberately rejected the cute mascot platformer identity established by earlier Conker titles. Well, Conker
titles?
There's like a Game Boy. There's like a Game Boy Quest. Conker's Quest or Conker Tales or something. Apparently it's like a Zelda-like. It's pretty good. I might have bought a copy for my Game Boy Color. So if you ever want to play another Conker's game, we could do that. Its explicit humor, profanity, violence, sexual satire, and pop culture parodies stood in stark contrast to Nintendo's public brand, even as Nintendo published the game. The highlights of the broader late N64 identity crisis. So Nintendo was losing older teens and young adults to PlayStation. Competitors embraced edgier, M-rated content, while Nintendo largely restricted them. Conker functions as a cultural outlier, proof that Nintendo didn't publish or could publish adult content, but ultimately chose not to pursue that direction. In retrospect, the game feels like a large gasp of experimentation before Nintendo's GameCube era brand reset. An implicit admission that Nintendo didn't know how to age its audience at the time. The game's commercials underperformed, commercial performance Underperformance reinforced Nintendo's retreat from the mature first publishing, shaping its conservative approach for years afterwards. Why does it matter for Podtendo, you ask? Thanks, AI. Conker isn't just crude, he's rude, and he's got attitude. It's a historic marker for when Nintendo briefly tested the limits of whose its audience could be and decisively pulled back. That's actually not what happened at all, AI. I think you misunderstood the situation. I don't think Nintendo liked this game from Jump Street. They were like, fuck you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, Nintendo does not make adult content, ever. They just don't. They don't like it. They always want to be seen as pretty friendly.
Makes sense.
Name a like, even in Zelda, where a game where you literally go around murdering things. Do you see blood? Nah. People think just like, oh, fall back and disappear. Poof of smoke. Like, you just don't do blood and gore. I feel like if they did, people would be like, oh, they could make money. I don't think they would. I think, honestly, Nintendo makes the smart decision by keeping it pretty safe.
Yeah. Oh, like, very much so. I mean, like, Mario Party is the most sugar-colored participation medal, everyone's a hero game you've ever played in your whole life. It's the worst experience. People love Mario Party. Families love Mario Party, right? Yeah. It's one of those things. It's the family market. That's where you need to go, and you can get that. Oh, I'll play this with my kids. I could play this, with children, with family, with friends. Mario Kart comes out. Everyone loves Mario Kart. That was probably the best decision they made on the Switch too. Is give us a new Mario Kart. Some people are running out and buying Mario Kart because people love Mario Kart. My girlfriend loves Mario. She loves it. Mario Kart's one of the worst racing games literally ever invented. But they keep up with the kind of mature, or like the kind of the friendly image, and it's just more approachable. Right, whereas you're like God of War at some point, people looking like, I don't know, he's like got body paint, and there's a lot going on. I don't know if I can get into those swords. Okay, that's fair.
I also find that sometimes, like, adding a restriction to yourself is sometimes really, like, you have to push yourself creatively. And yeah, like the Mario stuff can kind of get a little bit generic, but if you look at the vast majority of the Nintendo's content, like, yes, it's a little bit like not blood and gore. We're not going to have all that hardcore stuff. Where I feel like that's sometimes would just be a lazy crutch.
Sure.
Like, you just don't get, like, stuff flopped out. Like,
well, and I wonder too if, just as we're like kind of talking about this edginess, I mean, that was very much our culture, North American culture in 1997 to 2003, 2004, is everyone just kind of was really shitty and douchey for like half a decade, right? Think of like our music, explicit all of a sudden became the thing. We needed the M&Ms, we needed the Limp Bizkits. Everyone needed to be like angry and frustrated, and the Papa Roaches, right? We needed to be mad and angry and destroying stuff and breaking things, and that's just kind of where it seemed like that's where like PlayStation was leaning into and been like, all right, we'll do this. We're going to give into the grunge and like the cultural pressures of being more aggressive. And Nintendo was like, it's not really what we're about. It seems like, why are you guys just being so mean? And like as things have calmed down and settled down, now it kind of like some of those things you look back and you're like when is the appropriate time to listen to Limp Bizkit? Because I don't think it exists. Like, I don't think there's ever a time when like, this is when Limp Bizkit's being played, right? Outside of like a monster car rally. But like ultimately it's just one of those things, like it's kind of like a dead era. Like what else came from that, like that, we're edgy and hip, outside of like us making fun of Poochie for having attitude in his sunglasses, right? Like, so maybe it was.
Yeah, well, I think like that whole like edgy thing kept going for a really long time, to a point where like edgelords were a thing.
Sure.
And then eventually we all just started agreeing. They're like, man, edgelords is like pretty lame and cringe.
Maybe that's it.
That
like, was like the end was like the
be emotionally like a well-rounded person. You can't just be like, everything makes me so angry and sad. And you're like, okay, grow up. Everybody's got their own problems. I think that's just part of like growing up. As you learn like that punk rebel phase, and the world was kind of just going through a big boom of it because that was us millennials growing up. But yeah, I don't know. I think when I look at like the other consoles or even the Steam market or like the PC market, and just go like, survival horror is probably one of the most over like saturated markets in video gaming.
Yeah.
That's not a problem on like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like right now we're kind of having a problem of any content, but that's a different point.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to still find their way, but in the video game market as a whole, it seems like every other month or week, here's another survival horror. It's scary and there's blood and there's gore and there's more of it. You know, like, isn't this different? And it's like, I can kind of blame Dark Souls or whatever for a bit, but I feel like people have just been trying to take it so far. Yeah. And they're just like, you just get bored of it, where it's just like, I don't know. That's why I like playing these old kind of games. Well, but you just kind of have some fun with it.
And part of the mission statement, as it were, of Podtendo is like we've now played a lot of video games, right? We're into the hundreds and fifties of video games we've sat and played all the way through and experienced, and kind of contrasting together as we kind of travel through time ish. You know, you see things. Oh, this was the end of the platforming era. Like, where does this, you know, lead? Does it lead into more GameCube platformers as we go? I don't know, right? Just stuff to think about. And from there, what's our second part? Our second cultural significance, brought to us by the lovely AI. Satire and commentary on game, media, and industry itself. So beyond shock humor, Conker's Bad Fur Day is deeply satirical. It's not just a movie in pop culture, but it's video game as a medium. The video game openly mocks platforming conventions, RPG tropes, boss fights, player agency, and chosen one narratives. The famous ending where Conker questions why his following genre logic anticipates later meta commentary games by years. What? The famous ending where Conker questions why he's even following genre logic anticipates later meta. Okay. Sure. Rare used parodies to critique the sameness of the late 90s game design, the artificial rule players accept without questions. The self-awareness was usually unusual for console games at the time, especially from a major Nintendo-affiliated studio. The game predated the arguably foreshadows Metal Gear Solid 2's meta-narrative turn. Do I like Conker's Bad Fur Day? Indie genre deconstructions like the Stanley Parable or Undertales, while often dismissed as a gross-out comedy, Conker stands as one of the earliest mainstream console games to openly acknowledge the players as part of the joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like they're trying to do a pretty interesting thing with the parodies and stuff.
Yeah,
I just feel like it felt too improv-y.
That's the thing, and like, right? This is the point, and it doesn't like. Our father is now at the point in his life where if you've listened to him talk, he just argues and just says things. Nothing makes sense. He was here for Christmas a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about something, and he was like, oh, I hate this over here. And then he's like, see, aren't politics just like families? And I was like, no, that had nothing to do with what we talked about the last 2 minutes. You just made it up. You just pointed two things together. See, I made a point, and he didn't. There was no point whatsoever. In fact, he didn't even start talking about the one point. So what was that about? And I feel like that's just how this game was pieced together. It was just kind of like they were drawing a straight line, but they didn't know where they were going. So, hello. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it feels very improv-y.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes improv can be pretty, like,
sure, yeah,
fun or whatever, or like funny and kind of get to an interesting point. But at the same time, it's like, unless you're actively making, like, you actively know what you're trying to say and you keep drip feeding, you kind of just get to the end and be like, see, wasn't that clever? And you're like, that doesn't work. Yeah. You actually have to have something that you're trying to say and have it fit into the entire narrative for it to work. Yeah. You can't just be like, well, those random scenes, isn't that interesting? Like no, you didn't say anything. You just you just came up with an ending, and it doesn't fit because that was the last thing you wrote. Or they just have to, like, this is a good outline.
Or like ran out of time.
Refine it.
I don't know. Let's make me swim less. That could be fun. I don't know. Anyways, we'll end with just the list of cultural references from this game. So it starts out with a Clockwork Orange reference. We get some Looney Tunes sprinkled in there. There's a Terminator Haystack, Sopranos. It's called the Slop Pranos because he sings and he's poop. So Slop Pranos. There's a Jaws reference. We see some Jurassic Park, Dracula, Saving Private Ryan, The Matrix, and Alien.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna parody, those are the right things to parody.
Yes.
But I still feel like you can't just be like halfway through the game, be like, we are way behind on schedule. Come up with the next area. Matrix.
Well, it does seem
good
like
call.
Yeah, it's like
that will save us days.
But then, like, why were we in the barn for so long? And like, what's with all the poo? And then it just kind of seemed like they were like, okay, now we need to get our Jurassic Park, Matrix, and Saving Private Ryan and Dracula. It's like, blah, blah, blah. You know, where the
oh yeah, like it feels like the barn's the like not the longest, but it takes the longest amount of time. And then all of a sudden you're just like you fly through the oddly enough you fly through the poop area, and then like the Saving Private Ryan's area is like long, but that's just because it's hard.
Yeah,
it's basically like one long corridor, open area, run back, the end.
No, literally,
and then the Matrix area is like 3 scenes.
Literally, just that's it, and it's just I get it, Matrix. Okay.
The game.
Now, I mean,
like,
I guess Matrix came out
yeah.
like what 99, so I guess maybe turnaround time for a game it could be hard. Anyways, that was Conker's Bad Fur Day, a game Tyson had on his top 10 list. So I was like, I guess we have to play it. You think it's a top 10 64 game, so.
To be honest, the N64 is pretty lacking on stuff.
Yeah.
So this still might be up there. As much as this game bugs me, it might still be up there.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I know you put it on your list, and is this going to be like your Ghost and Goblins? We were like, I don't know what I was thinking. Why do you...
It's like, I don't know. It's like, maybe Tony Hawk 2.
I was a dumb kid. I was like, no, you did that 6 months ago. What? Think of... Oh, yeah, I guess it was...
I was going to say, what the heck was even on my list? What is it still better than?
Is that... if we scroll up, we should be able to see it, right? Because that's like all we talked about.
That's what I was thinking. I'm just like, if I just scroll up.
Wind Waker, 64.
Okay, yeah, this is 10. I had Diddy Kong Racing behind it and Tony Hawk 2 behind it. And Star Fox. Well, and Turok. And The World's Not Enough. So it falls about 6 spots.
Okay. It's not the most egregious.
Yeah. So it'd go from 10 to 15. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5.
Okay.
I still consider this probably better than Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
Because it is the not the best version, but still good. Still
Yes.
good. Anyways, yeah, something like that.
Cool.
So
We're still
not terrible, not amazing.
We're still podcasting. I thought we were done. I was like, oh, Tyson's just talking about these old games. Anyways, hopefully I was saying useful. I was just like playing on my phone. Okay.
Well, I think this is about time we sign off.
Yeah, apparently. Okay, perfect. So I think we'll say bye. We're probably good. And see you guys... 2 weeks. We're back at Zelda. I think I said that, so awesome.
Yep. See you guys soon.
Yeah. Bye.